On today's episode, we are joined by an absolute African giant. They are the biggest payment infrastructure in Africa, Flutterwave. And not only that, Jimmy, the head of growth, is also followed by one of the most followed Twitter accounts on Twitter, Barack Obama. Can you believe it? And guess what? The man has about 300 followers, but his personality speaks to why Barack Obama followed him. So let's take a look at our interview together.
Thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate the warm intro, and I'm really excited to have a chat with you today.
Likewise, Jimmy. Now, of course, we've had a couple of conversations back and forth. I know who you are, but let everyone know, beyond being head of growth at Flutterwave, who is Jimmy?
Yeah, so let's start with the influencer. I am not someone who actually uses Twitter that often, to be perfectly honest, but I just so happened to be on stage chatting about some of the advancements in the payments infrastructure, and this was at the NBA All-Star Weekend. I think it was 2 years back, and one of my fellow folks on the panel with me was an influencer himself. And he does a lot with Twitter. So he actually looked through my Twitter and he told me something that I hadn't even known, which is the fun fact that our ex-president, Barack Obama, actually follows me. Now, just to give context,
Wait, Jimmy, you weren't even aware that he was following you?
I wasn't even aware, actually, that he was following me. I follow him, for sure. I have his book. I have Michelle's book. But I was not aware he was following me. So this was actually told to me by someone else who actually looked through my account, because I have 300 some followers. I actually don't have very many followers, but one of those followers is indeed Barack Obama, which is kind of a life milestone for me. I'm actually very excited about that. But I do have quite a few followers on things like LinkedIn, because I've been someone who loves connecting good people together. And there's kind of two major areas where that's very, very helpful. One is, of course, growth. I'm head of growth for Flutterwave, especially in our developed markets region, where we're looking at how we can help global enterprises and their growth across Africa. And a lot of that growth is around finding the right connections, connecting to the right companies, the right people. So having the ability to connect people is very helpful for growth. The other is fundraising. So over the last 6 years, I have helped companies raise over 540 million in additional funding. And that's through connecting the right founders with the right investors. In fact, that is the reason that I am at Flutterwave today. When Flutterwave was raising their Series A, it was a $35 million round. At the time, I was working at a company called Atrium. It was started by Justin Kahn, the founder of Twitch. I was the head of Fundraise Concierge, the general manager of Fundraise Concierge, and I was helping startups with fundraising. Wow. So during those conversations, met with the executive team at Flutterwave, talked to them about their Series A, a $35 million raise, helped with the narrative, helped with some intros. We ended up not working on a formal project together, but that's how I got introduced to the incredible team at Flutterwave, and we've been in touch ever since. And when GB and team had raised the $150 million round at the unicorn valuation, he reached back out to me, said, hey, can we have a conversation? And that conversation led to me being here, and I've been here over 2 years now.
Incredible. And the rest is history. Or shall I say the rest is future?
The rest is the present. Well, the current is the present. The rest is the future, and we'll see what happens.
Remarkable, Jimmy. I'm glad I'm meeting you at this time of your career. Absolute honor. Really is. Really, really is. And for people at home who may not be aware, what is that big problem that Flutterwave is solving? Of course, you're solving a big enough problem to raise what you have done and to impact the lives you have already. But what is that big problem?
Yeah, absolutely. The big problem we are solving for is being able to really conduct business across Africa. At the end of the day, we are Africa's largest payment infrastructure. We allow for companies to be able to collect money, collect payments in a variety of different payment methods, and also to be able to send payments, be able to do payouts into local currency, into local bank accounts. I'd like to share one quick thing, if you wouldn't mind. I think this kind of helps highlight something. A lot of people ask, okay, so, and early on, as we're talking about Flutterwave, the easiest way was to say we are kind of like the Stripe of Africa. And that's, to help with payment processing across the continent. But I think one of the unique differences of Africa that's important to note is how fragmented it is. And the infrastructure is not the same as what you and I are used to in many of the developed markets. So I am currently in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And so here, if you are able to collect credit cards, you're actually able to collect from 84, 85+% of the people out there, right? You can get most of the payments there. Globally, if you collect credit cards, you're collecting maybe 15%. There's card usage, but then there's also cash usage in many countries, maybe even some other alternative payment methods. Across Africa, the credit card usage and the credit card usage rate and percent is 3%. So let's say you're a large global enterprise, your Uber, your Netflix, your Microsoft, your TikTok, Twitter, etc., and you're trying to do business across Africa and you collect credit cards. Well, you've only hit upon 3% of the possibilities in terms of payments. It's hard to run a business like that. We help you address the other payment options that are out there. A big percentage of that is the mobile wallets that are available out there. So the alternative payment methods, mobile wallets, local credit cards, all of these different payment methods, we help global businesses collect money. We help them settle globally. We help them do business in Africa.
Remarkable. And by help, where are we today? If I was to ask you, Jimmy, okay, well, you've got the largest payment infrastructure in Africa. Right? What does that mean in terms of numbers? I'll put you on the spot.
I love it. Let's do that. I just so happen to have Flutterwave at a glance. Where are we?
Something I made earlier.
We have now completed over 400 million transactions. We've completed over 25 billion in total payment volume. We have over 700 global employees around the world.
Beautiful.
Like I said, I'm currently based out in San Francisco Bay Area. We've got people all over the world. Our platform is able to support over 600,000 transactions and 20 million API calls a day. And we have over 1 million merchants globally. So some of the folks I kind of mentioned are customers that we already support. And of course, we'd love to find more ways to support more customers globally in their expansion across Africa.
That's beautiful, Jimmy. And thank you for giving us a peek behind the curtain, of the success you've had and, of course, yet to come. And it wouldn't be just of me if I didn't ask, how can people contribute to the journey? Because I know if anyone's got this far into the interview, sitting at home, who is the ideal partner / customer that we're looking at on the side of course, similar to MYKOBO? Who is that partner looking like? And how can they get in touch?
Yeah, absolutely. I recently had a keynote presentation where I was speaking to some of the exciting things happening across Africa. Not every company has a dedicated, let's say, individual for all of the different regions. Not everyone has a dedicated plan for how to expand across all these different regions. But the perfect person is anyone in an organization that's looking into growth opportunities and wants to explore geographic growth as an option. There's a lot of very exciting things happening in Africa. I'll point to just a few where it might trigger some excitement. Africa is the fastest growing mobile gaming market in the world right now. And the more exciting part about that is that 33% of the 186 million people who are playing mobile games, they pay. So these are excited, fast-growing, consumer base that is actually paying, and there's an excitement. There's a strong excitement around the mobile game ecosystem and what could happen there. Africa also is a fast-growing, population of young young people who are just entering the workforce. So what that has created is this entire ecosystem around helping those recent graduates and workforce folks find global opportunities. Things like the freelancer economy, the creator economy, opportunities to do consulting and contract work, any of the supportive, if you will, infrastructure or software or SaaS products that help freelancers, that help programmers, that help working professionals. There's a huge opportunity because it's going to become it is currently the largest workforce kind of globally, and there's an opportunity to help that. So lots of really great opportunities. On a high level, it's a $5.6 trillion consumer and business spend So if you are a company that wants to explore global expansion and you want to learn about Africa and the $5.6 trillion growth opportunity, let's chat.
That's powerful. And what I love about the positioning as well, Jimmy, is you are the infrastructure. And I don't want people to forget that is, there's a great saying that we will all experience this technology, we won't see it. And
Yes,
what's
that's
nice
right.
is people can come to you at any stage. So, of course, the way you were speaking just now was if they don't have anything going on right now. Now, of course, at MYKOBO, that's actually where our route started, which was in Nigeria. And so I know from firsthand experience that we can come and work with you if we've already got pipelines there.
Absolutely.
So would you say there's a company that's too big for you guys to work with, or really you are open to all conversations?
No, we're open to all conversations. In fact, I love the way you position that. I'd like to give you just a quick case study, if you will.
Yeah,
Uber is probably the perfect example of a
wow.
large global enterprise that we are currently supporting. We help them right now in 7 markets across Africa. And one of the things you mentioned is that seamless ability to take payments without even knowing that Flutterwave is what's powering it.
Yeah.
I experienced it myself. So when I went to Ghana for our corporate retreat, I was able to use Uber because I wanted to buy some gifts for my kids, and I ended up using Uber to get around. So what you see is a seamless experience. I was able to use Uber as if I'm using it in any other continent, any other country, and had no issues. Uber took my American Express card, which, if you've ever been to Ghana, that Amex is not accepted anywhere.
Even
I
in
was
the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I was not able to use it at any restaurant, even the hotels. I mean, I had issues with,
Yeah.
at some places they were able to take MasterCard, but it was just a very complicated and cumbersome thing. And I, of course, don't have cash. So I actually did go to the hotel and get some cash just in case. But the Uber experience was seamless. And it was
Beautiful.
seamless for me as an international traveler, but it's also seamless for the individuals who are located there. Now they can actually pay via their mobile wallets, they can pay via local credit cards, they can pay via the methods that they are accustomed to. And on the back end, what we are helping is to help Uber actually run the business, collect the money, and then of course the amount that goes to the driver in their local currency, and then we help settle the funds in US dollar for Uber on the back end. So all of that, the powering of payments in the background is what Flutterwave is doing, and you as a consumer just get to be able to purchase what you need to without having to worry about it.
That's awesome. And, our conversations here, I know it gets us excited, right? But truth be told, it's not sexy because the way we're talking is how it should be, but it hasn't been that way. And of course,
Yeah.
depending on where you've grown up,
When things work, it just
things work.
maybe it's not sexy, but making money for global enterprises is definitely sexy.
It sure is. It sure is on both sides. On both sides. Well, look, Jimmy, I know how busy you are, and I'm absolutely honored that I've been able to steal a couple of moments of your time. If there's one last thing that you'd love people to remember, maybe that's to follow you on Twitter. No, we know you're not an
Increase my
influencer yet.
account from 300 something to 400.
Oh. But with that being said, of course, Flutterwave, they do have an official Twitter account, link down below. But Jimmy, if there was one last thing you'd love someone watching at home to remember, what would that be?
I would just love to say there's incredible opportunities globally. I love helping to connect people, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to do so here at Flutterwave. Would love to connect with anyone out there that wants to learn more about the growth opportunities across Africa. Would love to connect with you if you want to learn a little bit more about fundraising or startups or anything related to growth. Happy to connect with you. Happy to connect with y'all.
Brilliant. And the best way to connect to me was that LinkedIn for you.
LinkedIn is probably the best way because my Twitter, like I said, does not really represent really what's going on. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can message me. I try to be as responsive as possible, and it's just my name, Jimmy Koo. Nice and easy.
Brilliant. I'll make sure wherever we share this, that LinkedIn will be linked above.
That would be perfect. Yeah, happy to connect on LinkedIn. Absolutely.
Powerful, Jimmy. Powerful. And I hope we stay LinkedIn as well. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I love it.
Super, Jimmy. With that being said, keep powering the future of payments, not just in Africa, but across the world as well. We're absolutely honored at MYKOBO to be a small piece of that puzzle contributing to your success. So thank you as well.
Absolutely, Jordan. Thank you so much for your time.
Brilliant. We'll see you in the future, sir.
Absolutely.